Hi everybody, welcome back to another Workout Wednesday. We are back for the month of September. I know that August was very busy. We had all of our buyer compensation classes as well as our masterminds, but we are back and we are bringing you back with our first guest for the month of September, Brad White, out of our Mandarin office. So we are very excited to have him here today to talk a little bit more about his personal self and his journey in real estate, as well as our topic for this week, which is personal note cards. So with that being said, let's get started. Well, firstly, Brad, thank you very much for coming on.
You bet.
This is something that I've kind of done for a few times. We did it once with Sharon Qualls, whenever she sold her $22 million listing. And then Anita, and then we had Kyle Williams on. It's been getting a lot of good reception, just this casual conversation style.
Absolutely.
You know, it's something that's just better than me. Like the previous videos, I would just be sitting here staring at the camera talking about nonsense.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not a real estate agent, so I had to kind of step back and realize, like, what qualifies me to be talking about a lot of this stuff, and then I figured the pivot to having actual real estate agents giving you guys a platform to talk about yourself, as well as talking about our topics and things like that, would add a little bit more, authority to it. So, but
I love
so far it's been awesome. So thank you. We can start out here with our first question. Just tell us about your journey into real estate, because you joined us about. Has it been a year since?
It's been over a year, a little over a year.
Okay. Yep. And then before that, you were in finance and multi-unit management. So can you talk a little bit about that and how you kind of got into real estate from there?
Yeah, sure. And thanks for having me on. And absolutely. So I've been an underwriter. I've been in finance. I've been multi-unit manager. All that fun stuff. The customer service side of it, right? So my company went under. It was a finance company, so delinquencies and all that. So actually the company closed. So like anybody else that's been in the business for a while, when you lose your job, you're looking for something that's really going to work for you. And real estate resonated with me because I bought and sold so many different homes, and I've had really good sales, and I've had some really bad ones. So I know how I want to be treated myself. So I think it was a good transition for me, into real estate, especially, being a cool Gen Xer, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely. So
you've had your real estate license since you've been in finance?
Right after that, I got my license. So before I started here.
So you immediately kind of thought, like, this is what I want to go into, or was there like a little bit of soul searching afterwards?
So I do a lot of day trading, right? Yeah. So I do day trading, and I play guitar. There's a lot of things interests that I have, but I think with the day trading, it was more Warren Buffett. It sounds funny, but I read a lot of the trading side of it, and Warren Buffett. And then when you see the Berkshire Hathaway, that's why one of the reasons why I joined here was because of that. So,
How has the transition been from finance? So you were already on the customer service side, so you had a little bit of experience working with people. So has it been a difficult transition going from two different industries?
Not at all, actually, not at all, because it's a people business. Same thing, and sometimes even the management side of it. You have to manage the process, the sale, your appraiser, your inspectors. You have to manage all that time. So it's the same type of thing. It's just it's a little bit different because now I'm working on my own.
So this week's topic is about sending out personal note cards, which I don't know if you caught it, but it's from Ninja.
Yep.
You were in Ninja, right?
Ninja. Yep.
So that's something that we've kind of brought back around as we've gotten away from it.
Yep.
How do you feel about that approach, and does it align at all with your philosophy of building relationships in your business?
Yeah, great question, because I love it. Ninja is fantastic. Anybody out there that's not went through Ninja, go through Ninja. It's not just, they say this stuff works, right? And it's the personal notes it's mind-blowing if you've not done it before. And because it's just 2 a day, so it's not, you're asking for a big commitment, but you're not, it's like a lot of things in business. You're not going to see instant results right away, but the handwritten notes that I've sent to people who haven't heard from me for a couple years, I get text messages and phone calls, and they're like, "Hey, thanks for the handwritten note," because nobody gets handwritten notes anymore. It's junk mail.
Yeah.
It's all junk. So to actually get something with your name written out on a card, it's like, wow, that's super cool.
Especially in such a digital world now. I mean, I have a drawer in my desk at work where I keep all of my handwritten notes I've gotten so far. Because it's nice. It's just a little bit of extra care that's been taken into it.
Exactly.
So, in your experience, how important has it been to make, you said that a couple of people have reached out, how important is it to make those personal, non-business related relationships with people?
Yeah.
Your time in real estate, or it could be another industry.
It's huge. And my personal experience is, a lot of it's learning, other people and what their interests are. But for me, it's been the social media aspect of it. And I've got a lot of people that have been following me on TikTok and others, but that are moving here to Northeast Florida because they've seen my videos, which is super powerful. But you have to know your clients, and you have to know what their interests. So the cool thing with me is it's the real me. I'm not one of those agents that it looks fake. What you see is what you get, and I like to have fun. But I also, at the same point, want to make sure that we get the job done and get you the house that you need. So,
absolutely. So you mentioned how you're on social media a little bit. This is an interesting question. So do you believe that you can create a good connection through digital communication, such as social media, or personal handwritten notes? Do you feel like one outweighs the other, or do you feel like they can both work pretty hand in hand?
Great question. Hand in hand. You have to do both. And there's a lot of tools in the tool belt, and you just have to use all of them. And I don't do door knocking. I don't do cold calls. I'm not that person.
Yeah.
But for me, if I can write my 2 handwritten notes every day and make it personal. It can't just be business related. Hey, it's 1 year anniversary of when you bought your house, or I saw on Facebook your kid went to school finally, first grade or whatever. You really make it personal, and that's going to resonate with those people. And same thing with, some people like the door knocking and the cold calls, but for me, doing the social media aspect, I can reach, right now on TikTok, I can reach 10,000 people on every video, and that means a lot to me, or I'm reaching more people outside of the area versus making those phone calls where I'm getting rejected. Yeah, if that makes sense.
So in your bio that I pulled from our website, you mentioned that you have a love for music, the outdoors, and exploring local eateries. And you do a little bit of that with your social media. You talk a lot about the Northeast Florida area. And I think in our call on Takeover Tuesday, where we were brainstorming with you, you mentioned how you want to bring Northeast Florida to people so they can learn more about it, because it is such an awesome area. So how do you believe those personal passions influence the way you connect with people and kind of make your work a little bit more vibrant? Yeah.
I think when you're passionate about something, people know. They can tell. And that's one thing with me. If it's something like we talk music, I could talk music all day. I'm very passionate about it. But the same thing about Northeast Florida. I do a lot of videos. It's not just about real estate. It's about Northeast Florida. So we're talking about the beaches. We're talking about downtown area, 1,100 miles of navigable water. It's the most in the United States. All these little things that I talk about, it's because I'm passionate about it. And that passion is resonating with the people from outside, because I've got people from Chicago, New York right now that I'm working with that they've never been here, and they saw me on social media. So there's a lot to that, but just like handwritten notes, it takes time. I went all in on TikTok about a year ago, a little less than a year, and I'm just finally starting to see the results. Same thing with personal notes. You can write personal notes. You say, oh, this just doesn't work because I've done it for 3 months. It works. You just have to keep plugging away.
Absolutely.
So, but that's another tool in your tool belt. You can't do it all. You have to manage that time. But it's a commitment. Everything you do is a commitment.
Definitely, 100%. I think it's important to the commitment. I really like that you said, because social media, it's almost like you got to keep feeding that beast.
Absolutely.
So, I mean, if it's once a day or 3 to 4 times a week you're posting, it can be a large commitment, but I think it does in the long run have big payoff. especially if you can find that niche too, because like you said with Northeast Florida, and we did another video with Kyle Williams where he talks a lot about gardening, and that was his niche that he found where he can reach a lot of people. So I think that is something that most people don't realize as well, is that if you can find that one area you're passionate about, then you can become an authority in that area. You can earn trust, and people are going to come to you because if they want to know something about Northeast Florida, they go, "Oh, I know Brad. He does a ton of videos on these. I'm going to see if he said anything about it."
Absolutely.
So that's something that I really like that you said.
Moving
on, how do you balance your professional life with those personal interests? You kind of touched on this a little bit about with your videos, but how do you balance a lot of it?
There's a lot of, I mean, balance is tricky because I incorporate a lot of my personal life in my videos because I want people to see the real me. I don't want them to see the fake person who, I'm number one. I'm not that person. I don't talk about how many homes I've sold. I talk about experiences. So if I sold a home, I'm not shouting it out to the world, "Hey, I sold this home," but I'm going to tell you what happened with this, good or bad. I want to share the experiences. So it's the same thing. I think, I want people to see the real me on social media. And when I throw my dog in there. There's a lot of different things that are in my videos. Gardening, we talked about that. Music, all that. I incorporate all that because, there's a certain. I want people to know that you're not seeing somebody that's going around, being fake on the real estate side. If that makes sense.
No, it does. It does.
Yeah.
So how do you stay involved in your local community? With these passions that you have, are you involved in anything in your local community?
Great question. And there's something I'm really passionate about. It's Tom Coughlin's J Fund. So Coach Tom Coughlin was the Giants, and he was also the coach of the Jags for a while. So I volunteer for the J Fund. Very passionate about that. I share a lot of that in my videos. We have a wine gala that's at Everbank. There's a celebrity golf tournament, at Sawgrass, which is cool because, I got to see a lot of, old football celebrities and Troy Aikman. Got to meet a lot of people. And then there's also, you mentioned music. There's a big music festival in Nocatee. It's called Rosala. And all the benefits go to the J Fund and Kids with Cancer. So it really goes to a good cause. But the people that I work with at the J Fund are fantastic. Everybody's volunteers, but everybody wants to, you can see the passion with everything with the J Fund, and a lot of it comes from Tom Coughlin himself. So I'm thrilled to, donate my time to the J Fund. Really love it.
Tom Coughlin was a great coach.
Sure
was. I didn't know about the Rosala.
Yeah.
That's down in Ponte Vedra?
Yeah.
When is it?
It's in, was it April, May? So it was right before the, it was in April. So
awesome.
That was really cool too because you got all these singer-songwriters from Nashville that come down, and it's like a big Woodstock. Everybody's sitting around, except everybody has golf carts, and
it's a little bit nicer.
They're all wearing polo shirts, a little bit nicer than that. So
as you're looking forward to the future of your real estate career, how are you planning to continue integrating these personal touches over that time?
When we say this stuff works, it's not stopping it. You have to just continue to do it. It's no different than social media. It's, a lot of people, they know it's my personal brand, right? It's my personal brand that I'm really trying to grow, and people, can see that. But the personal touch is if you stop, if you're farming, if you're doing the cold calls and you just get discouraged and you stop, well, then it's definitely not going to work. So personal notes, fantastic. I'm a big fan because I've seen it work, and I've had people call me, text me, and they're thrilled over it because they don't get those in the mail. So absolutely. I love it.
Just a final question here. What advice do you have for new real estate agents on the importance of building genuine relationships or just your real estate business as a whole?
So obviously if you're new, it's important because you may not have a big customer base. So you have to get your name out there. And that's not easy to do, but I can tell you social media is probably the easiest way. But when you can keep with your clientele, everybody that you've worked with, your family, friends, and you really treat them right, they're going to know friends, they're going to have people as well that's going to help you. So if you're new, it takes time. I mean, they told me, hey, you're going to go a few months without making a paycheck. Well, not only that, you're also having to pay all these dues and these fees and everything as well. So it's not easy the first year, but if you're passionate and you do the little things, because let's face it, real estate, realtors, it can be a lonely job if you're not around the right people and you're not doing the right things. So, yeah.
Well, that's great advice. That wraps up all of our questions. So just
Awesome.
Again, thank you for coming on. This is something that we really have enjoyed doing. But, we won't be able to catch, by the time this comes out, you won't be able to catch Brad on Takeover Tuesday, but he's also done Takeover Tuesday, so we'll put that in our Instagram highlights. You can go and check out more about him. You want to toss out your social media handles?
Yeah. TikTok, I'm Rock and Roll Real Estate.
Nice.
And then Instagram, I Sell Homes.
Yeah, with one L, right?
With one L.
One L.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you again.
Absolutely.
This was our Workout Wednesday with Brad White, talking about personal note cards and just the overall general journey in his real estate. But we'll see you next week with our next special guest. We'll keep it a secret for now, but until next time, take care.